Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we are back again. We're talking about the state of Montana this morning, and I'll tell you this, Montana, it's, of course, big sky country, and I'll say we made a great accomplishment. I actually had doubts for a bit that Tim Sheehy, a CEO and businessman, would actually defeat the huge Democrat star in Montana, Jon Tester. In fact, we also got, we'll talk about a little bit, Bernie Moreno, who also defeated, who was also a CEO. He went in and defeated Sherrod Brown of said Missouri. And huge accomplishment, as you know, because he was also, not Missouri, what am I saying? Of Ohio. Huge accomplishment, as you should know. He, of course, is the superstar for Dems in Ohio as it becomes a more reliable red state. But taking a look at this said state of Montana, you're going to see Tim Sheehy, he won by a lot, 52.6% to Jon Tester's 45.5%. Now, that doesn't mean Jon Tester didn't do well. He actually did pretty good. Looking at the said results here, you'll see Jon Tester, he ended up carrying Lewis and Clark County. I think, very interesting name. Usually we don't see Lewis and Clark. You might be thinking I'm talking about two separate counties when I say Lewis and Clark counties. But I said Lewis and Clark County, and obviously it's named after Lewis and Clark. But that county specifically went to Trump by 6 points. It's kind of a lukewarm conservative county for the most part. You'll see Hill County went and joined the Democrat camp, still staying in for Jon Tester. Blaine County, 59%. Roosevelt County voted for Trump 3 times, I want to believe. 3 times? Well, yeah, I want to say it's 3 times. Yeah, I want to believe that. Roosevelt County, we'll go ahead and take it. Roosevelt County, Montana, and I want to believe that's named after Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see here. Politics. Yes, it's voted for Trump 3 times. Very close. Biden almost flipped this county in 2020. It became a certified red county in 2023. Usually I say, hey, 2024. Usually I say, hey, these counties, when they vote Republican 3 times in a row, it's a red county. That's how I usually think of it now. But this county used to be very Democrat. And that was because of the Native American population. There's a significant Native American population in the said state of Montana. In fact, I want to believe that Jon Tester carried every Native American county in Montana. They strongly backed him. But let's take a look who Jon Tester is. He is a very strong Democrat in a very, very red state. He didn't win, obviously, thankfully. That's because the state is becoming more like an Idaho. It's becoming more like a Wyoming. It's becoming more like a Utah. It's becoming more like these neighboring red states. It's becoming more like a South Dakota, or a North Dakota. These neighboring states. Although it is a state of libertarians, extraordinary amount of libertarians, this does explain why the abortion measure overwhelmingly passed with 57.8%. It's a huge libertarian state, and that does explain why abortion was a huge battle cry in the state of Montana. You'll see here the 2012 United States Senate election in Montana, Jon Tester, 48.58%. Against Denny Rayburg. This was his first election to the Senate. Not his first. He was elected in 2012 by a much closer margin, but he performed pretty well. And that was mainly because of Dan Cox. Dan Cox was taking votes from Rayburg, and perhaps he would have defeated Jon Tester right there. But yeah, you'll see even Matt Rosendale had a hard time defeating Jon Tester as his career had pretty much advanced. But we got to remember that it's a blue wave year in 2018, especially in the Senate. Let's keep in mind, the Senate was a huge turnout for Dems, despite the race overall being won by Republicans. 38.7% of voters voted for Republicans, despite Mitch McConnell claiming the Senate majority. which is amazing. Like 58.2% of voters voted for Democrats. This was, of course, a blue wave cycle, and just to many people's shock, it still went to Republicans. Like I said, I made this claim so many times. Class 1 is a Republican buffer. It is huge. No one can win Class 1 but Republicans. It's their year to win in the Senate. It doesn't matter if 70% of Democrats go. I doubt it's going to be 70%, but 60%. It would be a landslide, double digits. Republicans will still win. And obviously, they picked up the necessary seats, 53 seats, and really that did put the Democrats into disarray. They gained seats, then actually lost seats, because sure, they gained Nevada and Arizona, but they ended up losing Missouri, North Dakota, Indiana, and Florida. That's something that the failed RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, is probably proud of. Maybe that's probably the most successful part. We'll give her credit to that. I guess we'll give Mitch McConnell some credit to that too, but 58%. Come on. Like, Democrats were coming out at mass because of anti-Trump TDS. But you get what I'm saying. But looking at this, you'll see, Bighorn did go for Trump in 2024, went for, of course, Jon Tester by much more, going back to Montana. Yes. And, of course, expectationally, Republicans flipped back the county of Cascade, 52%. At this county, it's not the biggest Republican. Yeah, 60% Republican, and voted Trump for 60%. That did help Donald Trump in the long run. It did help Sheehy in that county, that Trump. I mean, Trump running really helped Sheehy overall. Keep in mind of that. He couldn't flip back Park County. Gallatin County, still Democrats because of that university there, University of Montana, or something like that. Yellowstone, I don't know what it's called. I can care less. But, yeah. County flips, Lake County flipped to Sheehy. Yeah, other than that, it seems as if Jon Tester lost counties. You'll see even Glacier County, 71%, still in 70% for Jon Tester, actually. But you'll see here. But yeah, that's pretty much the senator race. Congratulations, Tim Sheehy. He wins, defeating this incumbent, longtime senator. Long time. I want to believe I was 3 years old when he won his 2006 election. In fact, Sherrod Brown, Bob Casey, Jon Tester, all elected in 2006, were both ousted in 2024. How coincidental. I mean, you guys come together, you guys leave together. I think that's how it goes. All right, let's take a look at the governor's race. No surprise here, Greg Gianforte, or how, I mean, it's this weird name. I had a hard time pronouncing that name in the primaries, too. He wins, obviously. No surprise. And same results as the 2024 presidential race. You'll see here. Gallatin County, 50%. Almost winnable, in other words. Ryan Busey picked up, of course, these following counties. Glacier County, 59%. Missoula County, not a Native American county, but holds the city of Missoula. That is 60% in for Busey. Deer Lodge County, 51%. Silver Bow, 54%. And then, of course, Gallatin, 50%. Those are the counties going in. And, of course, Greg Gianforte, I don't know how you pronounce your name, but he wins. Barely holding Bighorn. Bighorn, let's see, Trump did pretty, same amount there. You have to expect a lot with Bighorn. It is a Native American county, a big Native American county. Just having all those Native Americans come out and vote for Republicans we have a lot of appreciation to Roosevelt County, a county that he did not went to Gimport by 55%. You'll see Gimport made huge improvements in Montana, going back to his 2020 race. Yeah, you'll see he was going against Mike Cooney, Lieutenant Governor of Montana. You might be wondering, does he have a chance? Does he have a chance of winning? Yeah, Mike Cooney was the running mate of Steve Bullock, another Democrat that can actually keep the state blue, but of course he's term limited. That's why I'm really hoping that will be the case in Kansas. If that lieutenant governor does end up running, I hope he doesn't. But they're going to try to make an effort to flip Kansas, but I'm really hoping, that this is going to end up being the same deal as in was in Montana in 2020. But yes, Cooney loses. Greg Gimport wins this said election. But yeah, it makes huge improvements, especially winning Roosevelt, Bighorn, on all these counties here, 58%. All right, going all the way down, you'll see you got more down-ballot races. The Attorney General's race, a huge record results. Actually, interesting, 59.7. It's actually more interesting because you actually have counties. Got one county here, Lewis and Clark, and Bighorn. Bighorn, 52%. They weren't a fan of Austin Knudsen. But interestingly enough, Lewis and Clark decided to join the Democrat camp despite voting at mass more for... This is the biggest win for Republicans so far, it seems. Because 58%, this is 59%. Keep in mind, Republicans are losing Lewis and Clark County. Very close result, though. And seems they lost Bighorn County. So very fascinating results. Austin Knudsen, of course, wins against Ben Elke. Austin Knudsen, keep in mind, is incumbent. So I guess they don't really have... Lewis and Clark didn't really have much of a positive experience with him, nor did they really have a positive experience in Bighorn County, interestingly enough. Can you guys also notice that these two counties make a face? These are the two eyes. It's like a jack-o'-lantern. Two eyes here in the mouth. This big frown face. It's fascinating. Interesting. You make shapes of make a lot of shapes, faces. It's a little freaky too if you know about it. But yeah, this is the Attorney General's race. Auditor. Let's check out the auditor's race. 61%. Shoot! We actually cannot check the auditors. Let's see if we actually got yes, they got it down. All right. 61% so far is the biggest win. Gallatin County went red. Okay, this was a county that a lot of people said, we can't win it. But guess what? We won it. Gallatin County holds a huge, probably the biggest university, big college county. Went for Republican Mr. James Brown, I want to believe. Is it James Brown? Yes, James Brown against John Repke. Repke did succeed in carrying Big Stone, though. Is it called Big Stone? Big Stone County? Bighorn County, yes, he carried Bighorn. Lewis and Clark, I think, is doubling down on the Republicans, going down on hard for Republicans, which is good. But yes, you'll see clearly here. 61.4%. Very good results. And I would say I'll give credit probably because of the college students in Gallatin, and maybe Lewis and Clark. But that is pretty much giving him a 61%, mostly due to the turnout all across the state, not just in these blue counties. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next race. You'll see here we can now project the Secretary of State race, which is also a huge win for Republicans. Same result here. Blaine County for Republicans. You also got the very tight race, Silver Bow, along with Deer Lodge counties. Very close. Silver Bow, 0.4% of the margin for Jesse Mullen. And who knows? Who knows? Only, I would think, less than 100 votes separate the two. And if we are really, it's 95% in. And by the time we end this video, and maybe in the future, we'll actually see, or when this map is, or the election, actually, the final votes are counted, you'll actually see the county of Silver Bow for the Republicans. And it is I wouldn't say it's a populated county. It is a consolidated city. That's why I'm probably getting my heads up round. But yes, there's also Bighorn County, also 48%. It's just a 0.8% margin in that county. That, of course, is a Democrat. Native Americans still holding in for Democrats in the down-ballot races. Okay. We got the states. Okay. We're done with that. All right. Secretary of State, Superintendent of Public Instruction. I doubt there is. We can check. I do not think there is a page. 2024 Montana No, there isn't, unfortunately. But we can project sort of the same results you can expect. We can project here. Mr. Hadalin, or Mrs. Hadalin, defeats O'Brien. 59% to 41%. Close result. The Supreme Court election. The Supreme Court clerk. May I remind you, Montana is one of these states that have a clerk. And I'll tell you, it's a down-ballot race. It's not a separate Supreme Court race or a judicial race. And you got to look up those clerks, what a Supreme Court clerk does. But in that Supreme Court clerk election, we'll see if there's actually a page on that. Surely doubt it. But let's see. Let's check it out. Yeah, there's 2018 clerk, but I do not think they got a 2024 clerk, which is so frustrating. But this is the 2018 result. 2018 results. I think we made a great improvement. This is not the same person. Actually, yes, it is. Bowen Greenwood. Greenwood, of course, wins against Ferris Olson. 57% improving. I think it's a guy. Bowen Greenwood improves his margin by a lot. Part of the reason is Roger Roots is taking votes. I would guarantee you that Bighorn is probably in favors for Democrats. Once again, it's usually in case for down-ballot races. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Supreme Court. All right. Supreme Court Justice. I want to believe. Going to Ballotpedia. Let's see if we actually got some good results here. Montana election, judicial races. Ballotpedia. Okay. Their Ballotpedia is pretty handy. Well, let's just go ahead and click here. Pretty handy when it comes to these judicial races. They tell us more information that Wikipedia doesn't. But this is trouble loading. All right, Chief Justice. Very close result. Corey Swanson defeats Jerry Lynch. And I can't really necessarily tell you which one is the conservative and which one is the liberal. I think we covered the primary. I think we did separately about Corey Swanson and Jerry Lynch beforehand. But I would be surprised to see if Corey Swanson is a liberal. And I shouldn't be, because you had a Democrat governor serving for 8 years. A very popular one, indeed. A classical liberal. But okay. Yes, he is the judge-elect, Not sure if he's a liberal. Not sure if he's a conservative. This is, of course, his campaign ad.
Prosecutor, former Deputy Attorney General, and dedicated military officer, a judicial conservative running for Supreme Court to uphold
Okay, so he's a conservative.
the rule of law and keep politics out of the courtroom. Vote Corey Swanson for Chief Justice.
Perfect. So he's a conservative. That ad does help a lot. Ads do tell us Jerry Lynch has to be the liberal then. The Associate Justice. I think this is a statewide race. Is this a statewide race? I think it's a statewide race. Yes, it is. All right. The Associate Justice. Catherine M. Big Gary. Are you a conservative? She possibly is a conservative. Okay, there's a campaign video for her.
For over 20 years on the bench, I've protected our constitutional rights and made fair and impartial decisions on the cases in front of me. I'm Judge Catherine Bidigary. I grew up on a farm and ranch right here in Montana and learned the value of hard work, respect, and independence. On the Supreme Court, I'll guard our rights, protect our freedoms, and keep politics out of the courtroom.
Judge
that same guy.
Catherine Bidigary, an experienced, impartial judge for Supreme Court.
Same message as the conservative, so you would make a guess. You're probably a conservative. I mean, it's a red state, but then again, you got to remember, these Montanans got a good taste, because when you get that liberal Democrat governor, Bullock, for 8 years appointing judges, and then they go to get reelected, Montanans are getting a taste, and you know Montana is a libertarian state. They have the nerve to elect a Democrat for governor. They probably will have a nerve to elect a nonpartisan liberal. I mean, just saying. The likelihood of Catherine and Big Gary is probably being a conservative is high. But yes, this is what it's looking like right now. Public Service Commission, districts, of course. These are the following results. And I really doubt that they are, of course, at large, seeing that they're divided into districts. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to our analysis? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you.